Are you the outdoorsy type? Or do you just merely like making people think you're the outdoorsy type? Well, regardless of how many kayaks you own or marathons you run, even if you live in the deepest, wildest urban jungle, the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek might just be for you. It's a brand new Crosstrek, even though it doesn't look all that different from the old one. It's 95% new. It sits on a new platform that Subaru is planning to use on a lot of their cars and SUVs going forward. And we must say, it really is an intriguing new offering. Now, like the Crosstrek before it, the new Crosstrek shares most of its bits and pieces with the Subaru Impreza compact hatchback, but there are a few key differences that'll help you spot a Crosstrek in the wild. The easiest one to notice is this gray plastic cladding on the front bumper, the wheel wells, and on the rocker panels. It's meant to be a little bit more rugged, and in case it gets damaged off-road by a tree or some rocks, you might not mind quite as much. It also sits higher than a Subaru Impreza, about 3.6 inches higher, for a total of 8.7 inches of ground clearance, which is really nothing to sneeze at when you're looking at a quasi-off-road vehicle. But you're not going to want to go too far off-road. It still uses regular all-season tires that are best for on-road applications. It doesn't have any underbody skid plates or protection for all of the bits underneath. It doesn't have a transfer case. It doesn't have a creeper gear. It does have something called X-Drive, which is a low-speed traction control-based crawl control, but don't really expect it to do much more than get you to a trailhead or up a slippery slope of gravel. If you're looking to do the Rubicon Trail, you might want to leave that to the Jeeps. Inside, it still doesn't look all that different than it used to in the previous model, but it is an all-new interior. We still have the same great Subaru proportions that we've gotten in pretty much the rest of the lineup. There's a very low belt line, and you're sitting up fairly high, which means the visibility out is really excellent. You've got unique stitching on the seats and on the dash to separate it from the Impreza, and you've got a lot of really great content and space up front. But the biggest difference comes back here. Look at all the space you get back here. There's tons of legroom, more than you get in competitors like a Mazda CX-3 or a Jeep Renegade for the same amount of money. Well, more on that value proposition in a minute, but it almost feels like a bigger category of vehicle than a lot of these compact and subcompact SUVs, because it is. Subaru's priced it differently, so while you're still paying as much as you are for some of those competitor vehicles, you get a lot more usable space. For 2018, it also gets some updated electronics, including standard Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. When you slip behind the wheel, the Crosstrek becomes something of a mixed bag. The steering ratio is very quick, almost as quick as the Subaru BRZ sports car. Now that means that the steering feel and response is really very good. It's fun to toss through corners, it's very responsive, it actually handles quite well. The suspension soaks up bumps very well. It's also got that bit more ride height, so it actually is great in urban settings where you're going to be driving through the broken, rutted, pitted streets of America. Where the Crosstrek stumbles a little bit is in the powertrain. It's powered by a 2-liter, 152 horsepower flat 4 engine. And that's not a whole lot of power when you combine it with all-wheel drive. You can mate it up to either a 6-speed manual or a continuously variable automatic transmission. And in a rare case for me, a guy who really likes manuals, the automatic is the one to have for this car. It really does match up well with what little power is available from the 4-cylinder. So while it's going to be revving its little heart out, it will get you where you want to go. But then speed is really not the mission of the Crosstrek. It's really more about fuel efficiency. At least the Crosstrek, like most Subarus, comes with that standard all-wheel drive, so inclement weather doesn't really bother it that much, and neither do rising gas prices. The Crosstrek is rated at 27, 33, 29 miles per gallon for the automatic, and 23, 29, 25 miles per gallon for the stick shift version. Now that 33 miles per gallon on the highway for that automatic makes the Crosstrek the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, beating out several competitors that are front-wheel drive only. So you're not going to be winning any stoplight drag races in the Crosstrek, but quite frankly, who cares? This is not about speed. It's about utility and versatility, safety, fuel efficiency, and value as well. At $22,710 starting price, including destination, this thing sits smack in the middle of where a lot of much smaller competitors like the Mazda CX-3 or the Jeep Renegade also sit. You top out at about $30,000, just north of there, and that includes things like navigation and the Subaru EyeSight safety system as well. Now, if you want to find out more about the Crosstrek, including a more detailed review of the thing, check us out on Cars.com.